quite a while back, I said that I was going to show how to remove the tops from these. This is a McCormick black peppercorn grinder, and rather than buying a new one, what I do is I just refill them. Now on the label it says disposable, do not refill. Well, of course they don't want you to refill it. And if you choose to refill it, that's up to you. I'm going to show you how I do it. It's a very simple process. First thing I do is I just take off the lid. So the lid's off, exposed. It's empty. It's got a tiny bit of pepper still in there, but that really doesn't matter. We'll clean that out when we pop the lid off. The method I use is I simply use an electric kettle. And this is one that I picked up at Walmart. It's just a glass electric kettle. And it works really good. I use it for my coffee in the morning. Here I also have the peppercorns that I'm going to use to refill it with. These are Fiesta peppercorns. You can use peppercorn medley or whatever you want to use. But this is what I use. So, and we'll do that part at the end. For now, what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to set it with the grinder end down, and I just turn this up to the largest setting. I don't know that that matters at all, but that's what I do. I turn it up to the largest setting. I set it upside down in a coffee cup, just like that. So there you have it. It's just upside down in the coffee cup. Nothing special. And I just set it where it's straight up. So we're going to wait for the water to boil, which just takes a minute. And ultimately, I mean, really for me, it saves a lot of money. And I don't just refill it with black pepper. I also refill it with rosemary that I grow in the yard. I dry basil and put that in there. You know, just anything that I have. And in fact, I think I have some dried rosemary that I can grab. In fact, you can see I've taken this rosemary, and this is from my garden outside, and I have dried all of this, and so this can be crumbled and put into the grinder. And then I've got fresh rosemary that is so much better than from the store. I don't know if you can see that, but the green in there, instead of it being all brown like when you get it from the store. I mean, it just really makes a difference to me. And the flavor is much stronger, and I feel that you get more of the essential oils out of it. It looks like the electric kettle is just about done. That's close enough to boiling for me. It doesn't really have to be boiling. It just needs to be hot water. You can even use hot water out of the tap. I think that using the electric kettle works a little bit better. So I'm going to take that out, get my electric kettle. I'm going to let the bubbles stop, and I'm going to move this just towards the center a little bit. Get that lid out of the way, move that kind of out of the way. And remember, I'm using a coffee cup so it doesn't break or anything. And just gently, don't pour it directly on the thing, but just gently pour your water from your electric kettle in there with your grinder. And pour it, so that you've completely covered. What I like to do is I like to completely cover the grinder and all the way up to the label, the top of the label that's towards the bottom, like that. And then at this point, what you can do is, and I'm not going to do, turn it off. So it's just there, it's just sitting in there, and that's all it's going to do. You're going to give it 10 minutes, and after 10 minutes, you will take a hand towel or a washcloth or a towel and, you know, gently take it out of there, shake a little bit the excess water off. Okay, it has been 10 long, boring minutes that you got to skip because I paused the camera. So here we go, and I'm going to turn this around so that I can see. And what I'm going to do here is use my kitchen towel, and with one end of the kitchen towel I'm going to get the grinder out. I'm going to shake out the excess water like so. Then, holding it with one end of the towel like this, I'm going to use my other hand, grasp the other end, and I'm simply going to grip both ends like so and pull it apart. You got to give it a little bit of elbow grease, but there it is. Voila! It is pulled apart. Now you can take this and you can clean all the extra little pepper out of there. So rinse this out in the sink, maybe use a little bit of soap or whatever you like. Then on this top part, of course, you'll want to, you know, get it good and clean and get all of your little pieces of pepper or whatever out of the inside of that. Okay, and then once you've got it clean and dried, then you fill it back up with what you want to. In my case, it's going to be black pepper. I have cleaned and dried the top, and I have cleaned and dried the bottom. The label, the more often you do it, will fade more and more, and it'll peel off and stuff. You can just remove that label the first time that you do it. You know, just take it in the kitchen, remove the label, whatever your favorite method for label removing is. I don't care, I just leave them. So let's open up our peppercorn, and it's got this little top, you know, so you can sprinkle a god-awful amount of peppercorns on whatever you're making with this many peppercorns. I just pop the little top off, and then I take my peppercorns and I just pour as many as I want in there and try to avoid spilling them as much as possible. You can use a funnel for this, you know, probably easier, but I don't have a funnel, so lots of peppercorn. And you don't want to fill it all the way up to the very, very top, because you want a little bit of room for your grinder and stuff like that. So I'm going to stop right there. We've used this much of the peppercorns out of here. Not quite enough to, well, just a little bit below the label. Alright, put this back on for safety so I don't knock it over and have peppercorns everywhere, because I'm clumsy, a little bit anyway. Okay, I did manage to catch some of the peppercorns that actually jumped. So here we are. It is full of peppercorns again, and to put the top back on, you just take this, you know, side right here and the side right here, and you put them together and you give them a good push, and you gotta work it to get it on there. But once you get it on there, you'll feel it, you know, just turns pretty freely, and now you have a grinder completely full of peppercorns and ready to go. I'll show you here. kind of on my dirty little kitchen scale, that it works perfectly fine. And I mean, just, you know, just right out of the thing, as soon as you're done doing it, you just ta-da, perfect. Put your lid back on, and you are in business, and you did not spend a god-awful amount of money to be able to grind your peppercorns into your food again. So, personally, I think it's pretty easy. I think you can do it. I did it. So, good luck.